I got a call the other day from a lady that lives in Illinois about selling her mom's house here, and I said, have we ever met? She said, no. I said, well, how did you get my name? She says, well, when we're visiting, we see your signs all over. I've never met her. So, promotion marketing, okay? And I call this relationship marketing. It's not product marketing, because again, we all have the same product. This is relationship marketing. I'm going to the people I know. And even when you pick up new clients, they become people you know, right? Talk to them. Do relationship marketing. Hey, call me if you have questions. Okay, now, sometimes I don't listen to myself, so I've been over here, and then I've been over here, and then up here, and over here. So I don't know where I've been here, but if you have any questions, I guess this would be a good time. And if you don't, then it means you really don't give a hoot about what I said. Or I was so well prepared that you don't have any questions. Really, I'm just a setup for Heather and Kelly. They just needed a third person. I'm just here to introduce them. I'm kind of like Ellen DeGeneres a little bit on the Grammys or Emmys. All right, thank you, folks.
Thank you so much. Next up, Kelly Johnson with RE/MAX Legends. Kelly has been a realtor in Indianapolis for 7 years. Kelly's been in the top 20 for RE/MAX of Indiana, not just local, of Indiana. Indie agent since 2009. Kelly is a member of MIBOR, NAR, and the Indianapolis Chamber of Commerce. Holds a BA in business marketing. You may have seen his wrap trucks driving around town. He was prior to real estate, he was a logistics officer in the Air Force, 2001 to 2007, and his wife, Cher, works in the business as well. Please help me welcome.
That's what I have to follow. Mind you, I didn't bring any notes with me. So I guess the preface to my talk today, if you get something out of this, great. Tell me 2 to 3 years that you did and where you learned it from. Love to. Wow, I was looking at. I haven't done any public speaking in over 6 years. Last time I did this, I was in the Air Force. But a little background on me. Upon graduating high school back in 2000, I ended up marrying my lovely bride of 13 years. My wife Cher. We ended up making a commitment to each other, going in the Air Force. Did that for 6 years, finished school, and more or less had a opportunity to become an Air Force pilot. That was quickly taken away from me, so I ended up, I got out. And when I was in the Air Force, I bought 3 houses. And mind you, this is young and dumb, whatever the case may be, but I thought that a good idea for a realtor that I utilized 3 different times to purchase and sell property that I had was, over the course of about 6 years, she made about 40 grand off of the commissions that I sent to her, not to mention the referrals and things of that nature. So I thought, there was a guy in Fayetteville, North Carolina that had a moving truck. Just like when I came here, realized, hey, wow, they got them here also. Took that idea and developed what I call today list buyer build a premium movie for free. With that said, we ended up the first thing which she wanted to talk about was the wow, it is quiet in here. I feel like I'm by myself. I am by myself right now. But and I'll be the first one to tell you I'll make a geek of myself, and that's fine. I'm married 13 years, so can't go nowhere. But anyways, thank you for respecting that. At least helps me up here. We ended up, we took a small idea that I more or less thought I created, but maybe it was the accumulation of many other people. But upon getting out of the Air Force, I met a guy by the name of Mark Rosie. And I somewhat get emotional about this guy because he's the one who gave me an opportunity when I got into this business. That in 2007, everybody had said when I got out of the Air Force, you're making a big mistake going into this industry. It's tanking. Well, at that moment in time, it was not tanking. but it was on the verge. And took a chance, came into the industry. Mark took me under his wing. We ended up, that year, we closed over 100 deals with HamCo Real Estate. Upon his exit, he ended up being diagnosed with leukemia. So with that said, when he passed away, the banks gave me an opportunity in 2009, 2010 to continue that business, which I really appreciated. But after about a year and a half of being in that business, I realized that that was not what I got into business for. It was not to get in. Just really, there was no relationship building. It was people just came to you because you had a product to sell. And don't get me wrong, there's selling 100 pieces of real estate a year is exciting. But I got in this business to develop relationships, and for the longevity of this business, develop those relationships into folks that I could continually market to and get repeat orders from, just as Kelly mentioned. So what my wife and I did is in 2009, we said, okay, we've got a choice here. We can continue to market and go to these conferences with the bank on stuff, or at some point, before we get too much further involved in this, in the bank on the side of this business, we need to develop some sort of niche, which, and this was a little joke of mine, I always said that if the kid was too ugly on the playground, so the dog would play with you, mom would put a bone around his neck and the dog would play with you. That's kind of the way I felt in this business, in the sense of, again, I'm going to get it big time for John Murphy later. Yeah. But nonetheless, with that in my mind, it was one of those things where if we wanted to separate ourselves significantly and quickly in this business, I had to do something that no one else was doing. So at that moment in time, we said I needed a new car. And this is, again, I'm going to press this one more time because this is what I did. Everyone that finds your niche, just like Kelly has with his advertising, I'm sure just like Heather will talk about with her advertising with social media and whatnot, you've got to find, what works for me has worked for me because of a multitude of different reasons. What works for you may be a little bit different than what I do, what Kelly does, and what Heather does. There's a lot right there, good deal. But nonetheless, I told my wife in 2009, instead of going out and buying a $25,000, $30,000 hot rod, car, SUV, whatever the case is, to make me look good in the suit in front of my clients, I'm going to go buy a one-ton van. Just as you guys are thinking, she thought the same thing. What the heck are you talking about? And she said, you're going to buy a van and then buy another car? And I said, no. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to buy a van, which the van was used, say, $12,000. And I'm going to buy a 28-foot box truck. That really got it. And she said, what are you talking about? 2 weeks later, I came home. I told her I was serious about it. The commitment, which again Kelly talked about, with if I was going to do this, it was going to be for the longevity. Because in marketing, that's the one thing that I have figured out, is that if you do not give this, whatever marketing concept that you choose to take upon, no matter what business you're in, if you don't give it time to come to fruition, it's not going to work. It's just like he was talking about with John Murphy in the conversation at the R4 conference. I've got agents around my office doing all these different little things, but what I'm interested in is in 6, 12 months to see if they're actually still doing